Hello everyone. I'm Nayan Patel and I'll be presenting this case study on polypromenade biphenyl contamination which occurred in 1973 in Michigan. So objectives for this case study are basically the PBBs exposure in Michigan. So we'll understand that what is PBBs and uses of PBBs, what were the actions taken post exposure, the effects of PBS exposure, and what are the studies results showed after the exposure. So here it is. So what is PBS? So basically PBS is actually a manufactured chemical which consists of polyhalogenated derivatives of biphenyl core, and you can see the structure in this slide. So, and what are the basic applications of PBBs? So they are used for as a flame retardants, like for in the home appliances they are used in plastics. They're used to make sure that the plastic does not burn easily. In which there was a company called Vesicle Chemicals, which by mistake shipped a toxic flame retardant, that is PBS product, to the livestock feed plant. And what happened was due to because of this mistake, the PBS was being contaminated in the livestock. So as after the exposure of this PBBS, there were a lot of after the incident was found. The result of this incident, over 500 contaminated farms were being quarantined, and you can see that map of that farms and all the locations in this picture. So due to the contamination of livestock, which resulted in killing of around cattle, 4,500 pigs, and 1,500 sheep were being killed, and also some food products like cheese, butter, and eggs, and all the dry milk products, etc. were they were being destroyed. They had to be destroyed because of the contamination. The PBS exposure in humans. So basically, the residents of Michigan, which they had this, due to the exposure, they started complaining of nausea, abdominal pain, loss of appetite, joint pain. Also, they complained of it was noticed that the people with exposed studies were conducted after the exposure. There were short studies. During the short study, they usually found acne and skin related issues, nothing some life threatening issues. But in the several long study conducted after the exposure, it was found that women were with the higher exposure of PBB had fewer days between their menstrual periods, more days of bleeding, and lower estrogen levels. On an average, like breastfed daughters of the women who were exposed with PBBs, they started menstruating earlier than those were unexposed. And daughters who were born from this exposed mother, they were more likely to experience miscarriages, because the PBB contaminated mother will give birth to a child who is already being contaminated due to the. So the woman who are born with the daughter of the PBBS exposed mothers, daughter born from PBBS exposed mother were more likely to experience miscarriages. And also there were several studies which showed prevalence of thyroid disease, which is greater than expected, up to 25% of women, compared to the non-exposed. So the problem with PBBS is it has a very long half life of approximately around 10.8 years, which was being published in an article by CDC. So what exactly that means is, if a person with serum PBB level of 10 PBB, that's parts per million, in 1973, will likely have two, 2 PBB in 2004, and can expect to have detectable levels of 1 PBB in 2014. So you can understand that how difficult it is to get rid of PBB once exposed in the human body. It's a very slow and long process. So, but no studies were found. There no studies or results shows that PBB is directly related to uh, any cancers or any carcinogenic conditions. But the only issue with the PBB is that it stays in the human body for a longer period of time. So basically, the this is a So basically, the PBB was contaminated by mistake in the livestock, and after the consumption of contaminated food, that led to exposure in the residents, and due to that, they had several conditions like nausea, vomiting, nausea, and also they had this acne,